Hello, everyone. Today we'll talk about data types. So first, let's create the file first. We'll just call it data type. And let's go on with this. So in programming overall, data type is a very, very important concept. And this data type, they can be stored in variable. So let's talk about a few of them. So obviously a lot of them exist. Today we'll talk about some of them. What I mean by that, there are string or text type, which is called str. There's also numeric type, which is int, float. There's also complex, which we're not going to talk about complex today. We'll talk about int and float. There's also sequence types, which is list, tuple, range. There's mapping type, which is dict, D-I-C-T, which is dictionary. There's set type, which is set and frozenset. We're going to talk about set only. There's also Boolean type, which is defined by B-O-O-L, bool. And there's also binary types, bytes, bytearray, memoryview, where we will not talk about binary types today. So let's get started with this. So today, let's say this. So let's put some comments in here. Text type, right? str. So let's see how we actually write str. Or actually, let's just finish writing all of them first, and then we'll just go on afterward. There's numeric type. In numeric type, we'll talk about int, we'll talk about float, just to keep it consistent. And then we have the sequence type, types grammatically, making it correct. Really doesn't matter. We'll talk about list, tuple, not tuples, tuple, range. Then there's the mapping type, which is DICT. Then there's set types. Within the set types, there's set and frozenset, but we will talk about set only. There's also Boolean type. We will talk about bool. And then there's also binary type, but we will not talk about binary type today. So within text, how we write a variable or how does this work is, let's say we say str variable, or var for short. We'll just keep it var. Here, I'll put an underscore to keep things a little bit easier. Let's just say something like hello world. Yep. Let's do that. And on the numeric type, we have int, we have float. So let's do that as well. Int, var. And with integer, again, you don't need to put any double quote or single quote or anything like that. You can just put any number you want. Let's say 11. With float, let's create the float var equals. So with the float, you have a decimal point with this. So for something like this, you will be putting, like, let's say 15.5 or 15.0. So that decimal point is the main difference between an integer and that. Yeah. And then within the sequence type, we have the list, tuple, as well as range. So let's just write down how we actually put this in. So we have list var equal. And how we put a list is that we have to put the square bracket, okay? The square bracket, and everything goes within this square bracket. So within this, we can have anything we want. Basically, we can say hello, 1, 2. Oops, make sure you put a comma. Let's say world, something like that. if we were to do a tuple, tuple is similar, right? Let me just show you. Tuple var equals, so instead of having a square bracket, the only difference is that we put this brackets, just the normal brackets that we put in there. And here, let's say we put again, hello, 1, 2, 3, world, you know? Or let's put another one over here. Let's just put list. Over here, let's put couple. And then we have the range. So with the range, the only thing we have to do is, let's say, range for, and we can say range, and we can say something like, let's say 10. Okay. So from here, we have the dictionary, dict var equal, again, all these concepts, we're going to go over this later on in the course. That's why I'm not explaining everything right now, because I believe hands-on work is more important. So just understand the syntax of how this thing works, and then we'll go into all these things later on. So with the dictionary, how we define a dictionary is, let's say we have something. So with the dictionary, first we have to put this curly braces, right? And everything goes within the curly braces. So within this, let's say we have something like a name, right? And then over here, you just put that colon right there, and you can say something like let's say John. We can also have something like major, and another colon, and we can have, let's say, computer science. Yeah. We'll have something like that. Again, if we want, we can also have, we don't really need to have string the whole way through. We can also have something like let's say we put GPA and say 3.7. So again, you could have multiple you could have different types in there as well. And that's how we basically create a dictionary, dict or dictionary variable, which is basically with this colon, with these curly braces, and then you could just put this colon in between. And then let's talk about set. So with set is, again, is very similar to these other ones that we have created, the list or tuple that we created on the top. With the set, let's say put set var equal, don't forget about curly braces. And over here, you can just put, here I can just copy this, doesn't matter. There you go. And over here, I can just set just to keep things a little different. And then we also have Boolean type. Boolean is basically true and false, right? So I can have like bool var equal true, or I can have, let's say, bool variable 2 equals false. Again, it's just remember it's capital F, not like lowercase f. Okay, so it's going to give you an array with the lowercase. I should put a capital and it should be fine. So yeah, that's basically how you create. That's basically how you create all these data types right here. Yeah, like I said, all the upcoming courses or upcoming classes, as we go more in depth in this YouTube lesson, we will cover all of these things in much more details. Again, I believe in hands-on, so that's why I'm not explaining so much or investing any time on explaining so much of this. Just understand this is how this works. And if you need to create any of this, you can just create it that way. Yeah. Thank you, guys.